Welcome back. This go round, we're going to take a look at Samurai Shodown for the Sega Genesis. Alright, let's see who I'm going to pick. I'll go with Ganon. I had this game many moons ago. You're talking over, God, 20 plus years ago. And I actually kind of enjoyed it. Now, when I initially got it, of course I knew Earthquake was omitted and the scaling feature was omitted. So, but what impressed me about this conversion was the size of the characters and how detailed they actually looked. And I was pretty impressed by that because, now true, some of the animations on the characters are off. Like, some people know, as you see that cloud over there, that's off. That should be like a purple cloud and should be much bigger. But other than just like little minor details, I think they're actually represented fairly well. Now, on the other hand, you got the issue with the backgrounds. Now, some of the backgrounds in here are pretty decent. Some of them, like his stage, Ganon's, they're a little inconsistent. And as you can see, the computer is relentless. That's the thing I kind of don't like is, and that's a huge thing with Takara for some reason. They have an inconsistency when it comes to stage development. Like, they'll make one stage really nice, and then the other stages are off. I don't know, maybe it's because you have different artists on different stages. But to me, my whole thing is consistency. And they're not consistent. And while the characters look really well drawn and well represented, the problem is that you have an issue with animation. So if you're used to playing the arcade version and expecting to pull off maybe certain combos, you could probably have a problem here because you do have a lot of move animation missing, and that can actually hurt the gameplay. Also, which is kind of weird, is you also have slowdown in the game. And to me, that's kind of weird and all, because usually Genesis games, for the most part, play fairly well. I mean, all kidding aside. I mean, true, they might graphically be better off, but they actually, they play usually fairly well. And whereas this here had some slowdown issues. And I thought that was kind of weird. The characters do split and things of that nature. But it's kind of random. It's not like the arcade where almost all the time you touch them or you fucking blow on them, they basically split in half. But it is here. It's represented. As far as sound-wise, the sound's actually not pretty bad. I mean, the music for the most part I think is represented fairly well. I mean, it's no Neo Geo or Neo CD or 3DO for that matter. But I think it is fairly well represented, to be honest with you. You'll hear some of the voices, but a little scratchy, but I don't think it's not that bad, to be honest with you. It's really not that bad. I can live with it. It's not so horrible to the point that it's so jarring that you have to basically mute the game and put on a separate soundtrack or, alternative music. So, it's not that bad. So, what else can I say? I know you can play as the boss in here. I'm pretty sure it might be 2-player, if I'm not mistaken. It's been quite a while. But the one thing this game does sell at is the gameplay. Even though there's some slowdown in here and some moves as far as animations and timing miss, you still have a good time. And that's what's important. And that's what fighting games are supposed to be like. You're supposed to be able to enjoy them with a friend or colleague. Sociable environment. Remember the days of you sitting next to somebody. Go figure. But that's something that this game excelled at. And that's something I always had a blast when I always had friends over playing this game, because you had a lot of competition. It was fun. Very much like Street Fighter. It's just that fun. I mean, so it is an addictive game, to be honest with you. And do I recommend it? Sure. I think it's a great game. I think it's one of the better fighting games for the Sega Genesis. Because like I talked about Fatal Fury 2 being one of the better ones, and it is. And this one plays fairly well. If you can get past some of the slowdown and some of the move issues, it's not bad. I mean, true, the game isn't focused on combos. It's more of time tax. It's more methodical. But the thing is that, you know, you could have an issue if you had a certain way you played this game in the arcade. So it could be an issue. But I think if you get past a lot of that, it's actually not bad, to be honest with you. Damn, he smacked the shit out of me. So do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you're looking for another good game for your Genesis or Mega Drive, I think this is one to have because Samurai Shodown is a timeless game. It never goes out of style. The art, direction, the sound, I mean, even for the Genesis, it's not half bad. I mean, you could do worse. I had the Super Nintendo. Either I rented or I had it. I forget which one. But I did play it. And I actually like this better. Because even though the Super Nintendo has, what do you call it, Earthquake and has scaling and all that, it just felt weird. And I just never liked the way it played. Plus the music and all, with the Dolby Digital surround sounds, ugh, I couldn't even stand that shit. And everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Takara's Dolby surround sound stuff, so don't even get me started on that. But, I mean, I would have liked to seen this game in another developer's hand rather than Takara, because Takara is the hit and miss queen. And that's the thing, I would love to see this done by somebody else. There might have been more consistent, somebody like maybe Sunsoft, or somebody like that give it a try, or another company. But, or even SNK themselves try to port it. But shit happens. But I do think out of 16-bit ports, this is the better one than the Super Nintendo, in my humble opinion. I mean, if you only have one, and you only have a Super Nintendo, well, sure, go for it. I mean, but if you have a choice between the two, and you're looking for which one to get, especially another fighting game for your Genesis, this would be the one I would choose. So, yeah, that's my recommendation. And I think you'll have a good time with it. Just much like Fatal Fury 2, what you call Street Fighter. I think it belongs in your library. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of gameplay if I don't get my ass whooped over here. And also, the difficulty, it's not as bad as the arcade, but, you know, it can get a little bit difficult. So just be advised that the computer will cheat its ass off at times. So they just have a better system, what do you call it? They seem to perform the moves better than you can. So, So other than that, my thing is that get this game. It only costs for a couple bucks, especially if you want to get it loose. I paid only like a few bucks. And you know what? It's just a fun time. And I like to play it every so often because I think it's just a great game. It's timeless. Alright then, so I'm going to leave a little bit more gameplay. And I'm out of here. All right, I hope you've enjoyed. Take care.